just going to start this morning kind of settling in to the mat. I'm sitting up on a block because that is more comfortable for me. And again, thank you. Thanks to all the folks who tried to log in last week, just as my power went out, which has been a real issue. The joys of living in a coastal community, experiencing definitely impacts of climate change with pretty fierce storms. So we had 2 weeks of really aggressive weather, and our power supply locally was not doing well after that. So we've had a lot of power on and off. Today seems calm. Fingers crossed we will get through the class without losing power. So thank you again for your patience, and a belated Happy New Year's to folks. It seems too late to be saying that now, but anyway, I hope everybody had a lovely break. Jeff certainly did. Ted did as well. Ted's just snoozing in the other side of the room. So today we're going to kind of just make our way back into the practice. No judgment. Just really kind of exploring and feeling good about waking the body up and just seeing what's possible. So I think we'll just keep sitting here for another moment or two since Jeff seems to enjoy this. So just kind of bring your shoulders up, back, and down. Chest is lifted, heart is centered. And then just soften through your face. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes. And just start to deepen your breath. So when your facilitator says deepen your breath, it's really just that cue to make your breath intentional. Usually it's just almost unconscious. It's just happening. But when we deepen the breath, we're starting that intentional process of pulling in more oxygen and then exhaling more fully and completely. And all of that starts to push away the chatter, push away the chaos, and create calm space and to create possibility. So as you sit and breathe, notice what's coming up for you. Notice what's bubbling up to the top today. So either with your eyes open or closed, I'm going to invite you to join me in some pranayama, so some breath work to just really lock in that energy that we want to use as we start our physical practice. So start by taking in a deep breath, and then we're going to exhale for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale again deeply, completely. And then exhale this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep, slow, controlled breath in all the way to the top. And then we exhale again for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. Really enjoy that inhale. Keep breathing in. Then we exhale again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale deeply, keep breathing in. Lean back, open the chest, keep breathing in. And then slowly out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Deep breath in fully and completely. And then push the air out. Inhale. Push it out. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Dump it out. Good. If your eyes aren't open, you can open them up, reaching up to the ceiling, the sky, whatever you want to reach for. Maybe little wrists with the hands, circles with wrists with the hands, circles with the hands, or the wrists. A little bit distracted because Jeff is so relaxed. He's now using this time to clean his bathing suit area. Not on camera, buddy. Let's switch direction. Stretch your fingers wide and then just push down to the sides. Sweep the arms back up, tight through the core. Connect your hands, connect the palms, reach up, look up, stretching here, and then rolling those shoulders down. Excellent work. Good. Let's just take a moment while we're sitting here. Just look to one side and then the other. One side, then the other. So just gently going back and forth at your own pace. Jeff just got some water to assist him. Good. And then let's look up. Then chin to chest. Looking up. Chin to chest. Once more, looking all the way up. Shoulders roll back. And checking the chin to chest. Good stuff. Okay, we're going to come down onto the back and we're going to do a little bit of just some stretching. And this is a little bit of a flow, just combining a few different postures. Most of them should be familiar. And I'm going to invite you to kind of go at your own level of comfort. Some of this might be a little bit tougher if you've got any discomfort in the low back. So you do you. Okay, watch out, Jeff. Let's come on down to the back. So we're starting flat on the back. Just wiggle into the floor. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your tummy. So think about this kind of in the area of the solar plexus chakra. So kind of right beneath the rib cage, but above the belly button. And just breathe here. Good. Now reach the arms up over top of your head and stretch from fingers to toes. And then curl up here into a ball. So I'm going to bring my knees in and I'm going to actually bring the fingertips behind my head, bring the elbows together and kind of tucking up and in. This is where it's a little harder on the core. Hold and breathe. Releasing down, legs come up, arms come up. So this is almost like the dead bug, but really reach here, really stretch, breathe. And then slowly arms come down, legs come down. Hand to the heart, hand to the tummy. Breathing here. Stretching up through the arms, stretching through the legs. Rolling up to a ball. Up to your not quite dead bug. Take a couple of breaths. Keep that core tight as you start to lift and lower. Coming back down. Hand to the heart, hand to the tummy. Let's do that 2 more times. Taking a couple of breaths, deep and slow. Stretching through the body, lengthening. Roll up into a ball. Arms and legs up into the air. Tight through the core, lowering down slowly. Heart and tummy. Deep breaths as we prepare for the last time through. Stretching. Tuck into a ball. Arms and legs in the air. Slowly lowering, lots of control. Heart and tummy. Good. Bring your knees into the tummy now, gently rocking from side to side. You can move your knees around if you like. Let's bring our arms out to the sides, open like a cactus. We're going to go into a twist here. So I'm going to invite you to bring your legs down, bent to the left-hand side, while the head turns in the opposite direction, pushing that opposite shoulder down to the floor. So go back to that deep, intentional breath. And then slowly switching sides. So legs come across, head turns to the other side. And then slowly back to center. One leg comes up into the air, flex the foot. Let's grab the other knee, pulling it into the tummy. Shoulders roll back. Deep breath. Switch legs. And then bring both feet down to the floor, to the outer edges of the mat. So my knees are bent. Arms are going to be wherever you want them to be. And we're going to start to kind of windshield wiper the legs back and forth. Go at your own speed. This is really meant to just kind of explore what's happening in the low back. And it should feel good. If it doesn't, you could just return to knees pulled to tummy. And then we're going to roll forward, pop over onto the hands and knees. And from here, we're going to move through Old Faithful Cat Cow. So take a slow, deep breath in as the head and tail start to lift. Really take your time. You want to kind of extend, so kind of push the butt up as high as you can. And we're pulling the shoulders back. And then we reverse that. So this is where you want to tuck the tail under, pardon me, under chin comes to chest, rounding that back. So inhale slowly up. Exhale. Blow the air out. Reverse. Inhale. And exhale, rounding the back. Inhale. Exhale, rounding the back. One more inhale up here. Exhale, round the back. And then bring your toe knuckles together. Gently start to ease back into whatever version of the child's pose you find most accessible. That doesn't mean most comfortable, but get kind of snuggled in. So I'm trying to get my butt down to my heels. I'm reaching the arms forward. We're going to hang out here for a little bit longer. Go back to that intentional breath. If you need to count it for yourself, do that. But really, we just want to get to that place where the breath is relaxed so the body will join in. Slowly start to move up to the hands and knees. Flip your toes under. And we're going to move up and back into a downward facing dog. And then we're going to do a little bit of a walk the dog. So just bend one knee while you push into the opposite heel. And then just switch sides. So just kind of going side to side, bending one knee, then the other. Twist through your hips. Let your head hang in space. And then walk your hands back to the feet. We're going to start to roll up slowly. All the way back to a standing posture. Good. So, Jeff is quite interested in what's happening outside. Usually it's just squirrels and birds that excite him, but we've got a little bit of I believe the term for it is grapple. So it's like kind of freezing pellety things are hitting the house. And anyway, that's why he's on guard. He's guarding us all from the grapple. All right. So to continue to open up our bodies this morning, we're going to come into a great posture that I don't use often enough. So think about this as the ragdoll pose. So it's kind of a version of a forward fold, but because we're going to be holding on to our elbows, the kind of alignment of the body and the weight of the arms pulls everything towards the floor. So we get that really nice release of tension along the spinal column. And it's just a little bit of a feeling of, I find safety, but also surrender in the pose. Again, if you're having any discomfort in the low back, be mindful with this. And you can certainly bend your knees to feel more comfort. So bring your feet about maybe a little bit wider than hip width apart. My knees are a little soft to begin with. I'm going to sweep all the way up, lengthening here, maybe leaning back. And then as I kind of start to swan dive forward in a pretty lazy, relaxed way, I'm going to hold on to my elbows, shake out the hair. And we're going to hold this for a little while. So as you're hinged forward, think about what feels like it's stretching. Maybe you feel it in the low back. Maybe you feel it in your heels. Maybe in the hamstrings. And then start to kind of twist over to one side. And then the other, and you're moving mindfully. Just think about this as a time to explore. Just going at your own pace, side to side. Make sure your head is not peeking up. I'll talk you through anything important. Release the arms and slowly, with your feet grounded, start to roll up bit by bit by bit. Until you come all the way up. Bring the hands to the heart, shoulders are back and down, and just breathe deeply. So as you're standing here in this posture, engage through your core. That's the only thing I really want engaged right now. So tight through the core. Good. And then let's release this. We're going to do it again. So sweep up, lengthen. And then just gently surrendering back to that ragdoll posture. If you feel like straightening the legs a little bit more here, you could try. Keep the breath deep. And you can start moving from side to side. Release your arms, start to roll up bit by bit. Come all the way up, hands to the heart. Engage through the core, but just take a moment, breathe. Close your eyes and kind of go within yourself right now. Notice what's happening. Notice how you're feeling. and then release the arms down. Good. So we're going to shift this a little bit now. We've kind of done some relaxation work. We're releasing some of the tension in the body, but let's start to generate some heat and pull energy up from the ground and from all around us. So intentionally, my feet are now underneath my hips. My toes are spread really wide, arches are lifted. And we're going to be kind of sweeping up and pushing down with the arms. So we want to kind of bend the knees a little bit, lengthen up, inhale, and exhale, almost like you're throwing everything out that you don't want. And we, big exhale. So inhale up and release. Inhale. Once more, inhale. And then all the way up. Beautiful. Little shake. Get that energy flowing into all the corners. And then we're going to move on to some gorilla squats. Clearly my energy is not at all impacting Joe. It was quite settled. Nice to know. Okay, so gorilla squats are kind of a, well, I was going to say fun. Who am I kidding? They're not super fun, but they're great to kind of lengthen the hamstrings, and they incorporate some other good muscle work. So we've kind of got some energy flowing in the body, a little bit of heat, and now this is going to take it a little bit further, and then we'll transition back to some deep stretches. So for gorilla squats, my feet are pointing out. I'm going to bunny ear. So my peace signs here are going to connect with my big toes. So that means that I'm going to start to come down into a little bit of a squat here. And I am holding on to my big toes. From here, I'm going to come down till about elbows are hitting the insides of the knees. And then I straighten the legs, letting the head come down and forward. So we bend into the squat and straighten. Let's do 5 of these. So we bend, straighten, bend, and up. This will be 3, and up, 4. Really stretch up here. Last one, maybe come further down and up for 5. Release the feet, full sweep up. Connect the hands, and then releasing down. Nice. So over time with the gorilla squats, you can kind of come right down deeply into almost, not quite bum on the floor, but coming right down into almost a frog squat. But this is why I think you can see it's called the gorilla squat. So you can kind of get all the way down here before pushing back up. That's something that you can work towards in case you're looking for an amazing new goal for 2026. Okay. Please join me in taking a nice wide stance on the mat. My feet are facing forward and I'm having some pressure go across the tops of the feet into the outer edge. And you'll also feel this through the soles of the feet. As much as possible, try and keep the arches lifted and you're engaging through your toes. So you're holding on through your toes. Shoulders are back. We're going to sweep up here. Legs are straight. Swan dive forward. See if you can either plant the fingertips on the floor or maybe it is your palms. Take a few breaths. Let your head hang in space. Then I'm going to bring one arm up and back. So we're twisting to the side. Bring that hand down, and it's almost like a pendulum. You're going to hit the other hand and let that come up into the air. Hit the other hand up into the air. And then the other hand. We'll do 3. Switch sides. And then 4. Switch sides. And 5. And switch sides. Bring both hands together. Reverse swan dive, so we're sweeping up, core is tight. Bring the hands together over top of your head. Hold a wrist, lengthen, cross the midline. All the way up. And the other side. All the way up, roll your shoulders. Release the arms. Good. I want to go through that once more. So really what we're doing is an up, pop, up, pop, up, pop, up. But that sense of normally we would kind of place everything back together and then bring an arm up. But I really want this kind of momentum, this sway, and keeping that energy flowing side to side. So if your feet are comfortable, let's go again. Inhale up. Exhale. Bring your hands together or fingertips together. Take a couple of breaths to begin. And then bring one arm up into the air, and you're twisting as far into this as you can, looking up to the ceiling if possible. And then the hand sweeps, knocks the other one up. Switch sides. Switch sides. Switching. Switching. This is 4. Switching. Switching again, this is 5. Pop to the other side. And release. And roll all the way up. Reach, reach, reach. Grab a wrist, cross the midline. Back to center. Switch wrists and stretching over all the way up and releasing. Good. Release your feet. Give them a little stretch if you need to. My feet were saying they had a need. I'm just pressing onto the tops of the feet. Good. And a little roll of the shoulders. Excellent. I want to go through now a little bit of a flow, and I don't think we've done this for quite a while, but it's going to kind of impact balance. And it's a great reminder that we almost have to trust different senses when certain senses are limited. So for example, we really rely on our sight. And so when we're moving forward, balance for us comes through our eyes. But if we have to suddenly not use our eyes to balance, we have to remind ourselves that we have other points of data and data collection. So in this case, it's going to be your feet. That doesn't make it easy, but it's a great challenge for the brain. So I'm going to invite you to come to top or bottom of your mat. Doesn't matter. But you've got this runway of mat behind you. Now, we haven't done anything to set our balance yet, so expect wobbles. So we're going to start with hands to the heart. My feet are hip width apart. Active feet, so arches are lifted, toes are spread. Some nice deep breaths. And check your butt. So if your butt's popping out like mine was, tuck it under. Good. So I'm going to start by stepping back with my right foot. I'm going to land on the toe base. So this is what I'm talking about. When you don't have your eyes, you're kind of going into the abyss. So I've stepped back. My legs are straight. I'm staying on that right toe base. And I'm going to settle the breath. And I say that as I'm wobbling around. And then slowly start to lower down onto that back heel. So you've got 2 flat feet, 2 straight legs. Taking it really slow. Think about where you're feeling this now. Maybe it is in the hip flexor, maybe it's in the hamstring. All right. Start to bend your back knee just slightly. But try and keep fairly upright through your torso. Like don't lean back, don't lean forward. So that back knee is bent. And then the front knee is going to bend a little bit. Now notice where you're feeling it. Take some breaths. From here, sweep the arms up into the air. So this is a little bit of a modified warrior. All right, big transition here. The front leg, the arm on that side, the hand is going to come to the heart. The other arm that's up in the air is going to wind back. And as I move forward, I'm going to grab hold of that foot. All while breathing. Tall and proud. Now, if this is feeling comfortable, you can release that foot, bring it around and switch hands. So it's still behind the body. But now my left hand is holding onto the right foot on the posterior, so it's behind the body. If it's still comfortable, if you're still breathing deeply, sweep it around to the front. The left hand, right foot on the anterior in the front of the body. Tall and proud, shoulders back. Deep breath. From here, release that leg, pull the knee up towards the tummy. Keep breathing. And release down, hands to the heart. I'm going to take a step back. I'm like, my face was jammed right into the wall. It felt. Okay, breathe. Think about how you feel. I had that giddiness that comes from thinking I'm going to tumble over and then I don't. It's also a little bit of dopamine in there. All right, let's get ready to do that on the other side. So when you are feeling comfortable, you're going to step back with the left foot landing on the toe base. Straight legs. Lots of deep breath. So notice the sensation from that left toe base. You want to feel that. You want to tell your brain, notice what's happening in that foot. And then start to sink that heel down. Straight legs now. I'm going to start to bend my back knee just a little bit. And then the front knee is going to bend just a little bit. Make sure you're fairly Level here and not leaning forward, not leaning way back. I'm gonna bring the arms up into this. Couple more breaths. All right, the front leg, arm side, that hand comes to the heart. I'm not describing it very well, but the other arm that's up in the air is gonna sweep behind. As you lift up, grab that foot. So now I've got left foot in left hand. Lots of deep breath. Now I'm going to switch hands. So I've got my left hand forward now. My right hand is holding my left foot behind the body. And my supporting leg is solid. It is grounded. When you're ready, slowly bring that foot forward. Catch it on the front. And I'm holding it up. Tall and proud. From here, see if you can lift that knee up towards the tummy, towards the chest. Are you feeling that supporting leg? I sure am. And then releasing. Let's sweep all the way up. Swan dive forward. So coming down, maybe palms are coming towards the floor. Maybe it's just fingertips. Drop the head. Float up to a flat back. So bring the hands up to about the knees. Take some breaths. Fold forward again. Inhale, sweep up. And hands to the heart. And relax. Good. We're going to do that once more, a little bit more rapidly. But again, it's just such a nice opportunity to kind of remind ourselves that when we're counting on something, if it's not available, we have other options. So we're counting on our eyeballs to kind of help us balance and understand what's happening. But in this sequence, we are suddenly not having everything we need from our eyes. So we're being resourceful. We're paying attention to the sensation in the toe base. When I'm reaching behind, I know I have to keep going till I feel some contact. It's all about being flexible in what tools we use, which is kind of a good way to face the year ahead. So let's start this again. Hands to the heart, tall and proud. I'm going to step back with my right foot, landing on the toe base. Staying here, breathing, legs are straight. And sink that heel down. Keep the legs straight. Bend the back knee just a little bit. Front knee just a little bit. Sweep the arms up. Bring one hand to the heart, the other arm comes around behind. Very tight, modified dancer pose here. Pay attention to this standing leg. Make sure your foot is in touch with your brain. It's where your balance is coming from right now. Deep breath. And then if it's comfortable, switching hands, switching the foot across to the other hand behind the body. Breathing through the wobbles. And bring that foot forward. Tall and proud. Feel that foot on the supporting leg side. Take some deep breaths and then pull the knee into the tummy, into the chest. And then releasing. Take a couple of breaths. Step back with the left foot landing on that toe base. Receive those messages from that foot. And then sink the heel down. Legs are straight. Back knee bends a little bit. Front knee bends a little bit. Sweep up your arms. Let's bring a hand to the heart, sweeping behind, grabbing the foot. So I've got left hand, left foot. Receive some messages from some body parts. And then swap in hand and foot. So I've got my left hand forward, right hand is behind with the left foot. Now I'm going to sweep it forward. Lots of breath, lots of balance. We're almost there. Acknowledge the shakiness in the standing leg, but keep going, knee to tummy or chest. Smile, it helps. And then releasing. Let's sweep all the way up, tall and proud. Swan dive forward, touch the floor. Float to a flat back. Hands to the floor. Sweep or roll all the way up. And hands to the heart. Amazing work. Let's come on down to the mat. I'm going to invite you to bring the left knee into the tummy while you stretch out your right leg. So basically, this is the posture we were just doing as we were standing. But we're going to add a little bit of range of motion to this. So if it's comfortable for you, so I've got the left leg bent and in my hand, I'm going to guide it out to the side. Just take some really deep breaths. And then bringing that leg back to center, switch hands, and then guide the leg across the midline. So you can be pulling up or down, find a comfortable posture or one where you feel it's giving you a good stretch. And keep going with the intentional deep breath. That tells the body, stay relaxed. We're stretching so we don't want to fight the stretch. Back to center. Let's switch to the other leg. It's pulling the knee in to begin. And then you gently bring the leg out to the side. and then crossing the midline of the body. Check your breath. Back to center. Bring both knees into the tummy. And we're going to go from here into dead bug. So, actual dead bug. So, stretch your legs up, flex the feet to begin. Bring your arms up. You're going to feel the shoulders peel up off of the floor. So, we start with a stretch. So, I'm actually pulling up through my heels towards the ceiling, stretching up through my fingertips towards the ceiling. My core is engaged. This is a really tense posture. And then we soften. The shoulders come back to the floor. And remarkably, this is a pretty easy posture to maintain. So my legs are a little bit relaxed. My wrists are kind of letting my hands flop. Take some deep breaths. And when you're feeling ready and comfortable, allow everything to come down, melting into the floor or into whatever posture you prefer for the Shavasana. Once you're settled into the physical posture of your choice, soften through the face, soften through your eyes, or close the eyes. Breathe and allow the physical posture to be kind of cemented in your memory, both your physical memory and a little bit of a spiritual memory as well. Start to deepen your breath. And start to stretch your arms and your legs, lengthening the body. And maybe moving your head from side to side. On your next in breath, pull your knees into your tummy. Give yourself a big hug. And then when you're feeling comfortable, move up to a seated posture. So just sit for a moment, be still, keep going with that intentional breath. And notice how you feel. Let's bring the hands together in front of the heart. Allow me to thank you not only for your patience last week as I was suddenly unavailable. Thank you, Nova Scotia Power. But thank you for coming back this week and being so able to jump into a practice on a Sunday morning with other great people. It means a lot to me, and I hope it will be a good start to the week ahead. Can't wait to see folks next week. If you have any requests or questions, shoot me a message. Obviously, I'm fairly easy to get in touch with, as Teddy has found out. And I wish everybody the best week possible. Namaste. Thanks, folks. Have a great week. From Jeff and Ted, too.
Thanks, Barb.